Hey everybody, welcome to episode 111 of the Toys for Games podcast. This is a chilly Wednesday evening, the middle of March 15th, 2017. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown, and I am not alone tonight. I am not doing this solo. I do not have the help of the wonderful Valerie as I have before. I did not drag Matt in from outside to help with this podcast. I did not implore the services of anybody else because I didn't need anybody else. Because I have my bae back. I have the only co-host I will ever need. The returning Jason Greer.
Good evening, Josh. How we doing?
Fantastic, my friend. I am so happy you're back.
I'm excited to be back. It's been a long time.
It's been way too long. We've had droughts like this before. It just feels like this was even longer. I think because you were pretty much incommunicado, so even when, like, you know, we have bouts where we can't record together, we're still in contact. But
sure,
for the most part during this duration, like, you were just MIA. You were gone, and I was hoping everything was going okay, but there was a chance.
Literally off the grid.
Yeah.
Thankfully came back and not everything's on fire, so we're doing good.
Sure. Your house was safe while you were gone?
Mostly.
How many times did you adjust your thermostat mobily?
I didn't, but I had to remember if I turn my light switch physically off, because if I turn them off via my app, then they'll still continue on the schedule. So I was really afraid that, like, my bedroom lights were still going on every morning at 6:30.
Right.
But they were physically turned off, so thankfully there was no, like, ghost living in my house.
That's good.
Which is a, like, first world problem. I don't know if I've talked about this here publicly or not, but, like, I have the why am I blanking on the Philips Hue lights, and so I have to have them on schedule to turn on at 6:30, like, slowly turn on, and because I like waking to that versus an annoying alarm clock. And then it's like that whole theory where you wake up in, like, a higher level or lower level of sleep, whatever it is, versus just alarm, you get knocked out of whatever level you're on. But, like, when I got back from vacation and everything, I forgot to turn it scheduling off because I turn off my lights via my app when I'm in bed because you get cozy, you know, you don't want to get back out, turn the lights off.
Sure.
And so then, you know, next morning I'm like, oh, sweet, I get to sleep in. 6:30, the lights turned on. You're just like, no. So you have to, like, remember to turn off your smart house.
Okay, yeah.
When you go to bed.
Such an unfortunate thing for you. I don't know how you manage on a daily basis. Do you just put a daily reminder in your calendar?
No, because it's scheduled to do it automatically. So then, like, whenever I do, like, there's not very often where I don't, like, when I'm off from work.
Sure.
So I just have to remember. But then, like, weird stuff too, because, like, my thermostat's programmed to go back to 60 degrees during the day, you know, when I'm at work. So I'm like, walking my frigid in here. And I'm like, oh, that's right, because it's in away mode right now.
My house thinks I'm supposed to be gone right now, and it's freezing me.
Turn the lights back on. Turn the heat back up.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, those are problems that most people may never experience in their lives, Jason.
First world problems.
Well, we have a lot to cover. Most of it has nothing to do with news, and I'm okay with that. Before we get started, because I'm probably going to forget, because we're going to be getting into some things here. Executive producer, as always, the wonderful, the amazing George Torres, who's hanging out in sunny SoCal at this moment. Hi, George. We miss you. Also, show sponsor of the night, as he is every week, Devin Lachinsky. You could go over and find him on YouTube, youtube.com/user/DLASCH2. That's the number 2. Jason Greer.
Yes, sir.
What in the world were you up to, my friend?
Last week?
Yeah, while you were gone. You haven't been on this podcast for 2 weeks now. People want to know, for those that may not follow you on social media for whatever reasons, that only rely on getting updates about your life through this podcast, what happened?
So Amy and I decided we want to go on a trip over spring break. So we went down to Baltimore.
Yep.
Now
and then this plan has been, or this trip has been planned for months.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Man, I don't even know when we first started talking about this. This is probably what, October maybe?
You brought it up to Matt and I at PAX West in September.
Wow.
So I don't know if Amy knew about that then, or if that was just something that was starting to roll around in your head, but that's definitely when you started talking about it.
Yeah, so yeah, she was the one that said about, like, she didn't really have any plans for spring break if we wanted to do a trip, so we've been talking about doing that, but then plans changed a little bit without her knowing a little bit. But yeah, we went down to Baltimore on Saturday, checked out the aquarium, which was a
how is their aquarium
wonderful
in Baltimore?
Time.
How is their aquarium in Baltimore?
Fantastic. I think it's the National Aquarium, if I understand it correctly.
Huh, okay.
So, it's pretty nice. It's not as big as I remember when I was a kid. Like, when I was a kid, I thought it was like, humongous. And I've gone. This is probably like my fourth time going.
Okay.
Still a wonderful time, but when you go, I'm like, oh, that doesn't take as, like, I remember when I was a kid, it took like 20 hours, and
yes,
it was like 400 miles inside.
Yeah. Everything takes much longer when you're a kid. Right. Also, days take like weeks in your head to like actually live out.
But I had a real good time. I think it was her first time in a long time, so she doesn't really remember much down there, but obviously went to check out the sharks and everything like that, so it was always a good time. Sunday then we drove a little bit, then went on to Virginia, stayed overnight in Virginia. Then Sunday morning, went up to Great Falls. I keep calling national parks, not national parks, it's Great Falls Park.
It sounds more important though if you go the other route.
Right? It's a national park. But it's a place up in the line between Virginia and Maryland. So you can go on one side. It's called a different park if you go across the river, but essentially it's a same park. But they have a bunch of waterfalls. It's like 10 miles from Washington, D.C. or something like that, but it's this beautiful area. Actually has a Washington, or no lie, a White House replica house. Like someone made a house that looked like the White House.
Interesting. I think it just to scale?
No.
Okay.
But it's like, I didn't even know it was a thing. We were just driving back there. I'm like, that looks like the White House. And then so we did more research on it. It just actually went on auction for like $3.2 million last fall, I think. But went back there, checked out. They have some beautiful waterfalls back out there. So we went out there in the morning and I proposed.
What? What happened?
And she said yes.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
I've been waiting for like a week and a half to get that answer.
Thankfully, she said yes. So there is video and audio and all that kind of fun stuff with it. I guess I haven't sent it to you yet, have I?
No, you have not.
I
think you said you were working on it. I was like, you know what? You're busy. Stop.
Yeah. So it is on my personal, not my quote unquote business, but my personal Facebook page. Is this up to public? So I'll tweet out the link at some point, probably Thursday or Friday, if you want to check it out. Yeah, it's been a plan in works that literally the only person on the plan besides me that knew the plan was Josh for good 4 months. So thankfully he did not tell Amy.
No. Well, she wouldn't respond to my text, to be fair.
Yeah,
like, right. I tried.
This is Josh, like, I swear it's Josh.
She's like, this creep with this weird area code that I'm not familiar with keeps texting me, and, I maybe made it weird. I was sending her pictures of cats, and, it didn't go over well. I thought it would play better than it did.
Sure. But yeah, so her and I are self-proclaimed old-fashioned couple. So we appreciate doing things old-fashioned way. So one of the things we enjoy doing is sending cards back and forth. So we send a card to each other every week or every other week. So it's super nice. It's it's kind of like that thing, like the old comic about when you actually get a personal email now, how it's, or for a while it was like you got excited when you got an email, but right. Now it's like just junk mail. So you get excited when you get an actual letter or something that's relevant to you, and not just a bill or marketing campaign. Yeah, physical mail.
Kohl's, stop sending me your 20% off coupons.
We get it. But yeah, so we send those. So, anyways, the long play that we had, and which is, you were nervous she was going to catch on, and she never did, was that it was about 13 cards I sent over a couple of months, and each card, there's two aspects of each card and or email. I included some emails because some stuff I wanted to send to her, on a certain day, so rather than trying to rely on the Pony Express to get there on the right day, is you just email that morning. But yeah, so each card would have the Bible verse at the end, and the Bible verse would, the verse number would count down.
Okay.
So start at 13 and go 12, 11, 10, 9, yada, 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 the whole way to the last card I gave her that day was verse 1 of some chapter of some book, which let me tell you how hard it is to find a relevant verse to whatever we're talking about, with that number. It takes a long while of searching, because it's kind of a hard thing to, there's no real tools out there to search for a specific verse number. I don't really care what book or chapter, I just need it to be this verse number in a time frame. So it worked out for that. I only cheated one time when I had to do a 6 and a 7, verses 6 and 7. But
see, that's the stuff you don't even need to admit.
Yeah, I know, but
okay.
But then the first word of each correspondence I would send, it would start off my dearest, comma Amy, comma, which if you're a fan of Hamilton, you'll get that reference. Then the next word at the beginning of the paragraph on there that word would form a sentence after the 13 cards. So the first word in the first card I sent was the word I've, and then it was been wanting to ask you this one question, Amy, will you marry me? So the card she opened up that day when we were at the waterfalls started with the word me. So the last two, the marry me ones, were the ones that are you gotta get a little bit creative with those, because they're not typically something you start a sentence with. But it all worked out. She had no idea. Didn't pick up at all. She knew something was involved a key. I teased her all along, something involving a key to the proposal, and she had no idea what I was talking about. So that's how she knew I was proposing that day, when I mentioned, you never figured out the key, did you? And she knew at that instant, it's happening right now.
Nice. So just to be fully transparent here.
Yeah.
She kind of felt like it was potentially going to be happening this coming summer.
Yeah, she knew, it was probably going to happen that summer. She started getting a little hints, figuring out that it's probably going to happen over spring break. Just everybody's like, oh, it's going to happen over spring break. It's going to happen over spring break. You guys taking this trip, yada, yada. So right. She didn't really want to get her hopes up, per se, that was going to happen over spring break. Because then, the whole time you can't enjoy the break because you're waiting for it to happen. Because apparently she did say, which I don't remember doing this, she thought if it was going to happen in front of the Dory tank at the Baltimore Aquarium, because Finding Dory was our first date, per se.
Oh, that's right.
And
that would have been smart. Man, she outsmarted you on that one.
But then there was so many people, which her and I are not we'd want to do is private, we're not a huge public thing. But apparently not in front of that tank, but near it. Apparently I did get down on my knee, and she started freaking out. I didn't know I did, but apparently I did. But what I found out from her mom was that she thought if it was going to happen, it was going to happen on Monday, because Monday was the day we were planning on getting to Williamsburg, Virginia. And so she thought, she didn't think it was going to happen the first day. It's one of those, just enjoy the trip and then just kind of spring it up.
Yeah.
Didn't think it was going to happen on Sunday, because she knew Sunday was a travel day, which was not a lie. And then Monday was, we were going to be there, and thought something was going to happen down there in Williamsburg.
Your first kind of settled in day.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I knew then from her mom that it was going to be a Monday. So her mom was like, you can try to play her a little bit to make it think it's going to be on Monday, in case she starts getting, antsy, thinking it's going to happen that weekend. So she originally told me, because she's like, you know what? I'm going to lay outfits out. You let me know which outfit you want me to wear each day. And I was like, all right, there's one sweater I really like on her. So I purposely was like, when we were going through for the outfits, I was like, all right, I'm going to act really fast for the first ones, pick that one for Monday, and then act like I don't care what the rest of the days are, because, and that's, so I was like, all right, wear this one Saturday, Sunday, that one on Monday, and then I guess you can wear that one on Tuesday and that one on Wednesday. So it seemed like I didn't really care what Tuesday and Wednesdays were, but the one I actually cared the most for was on Sunday. So she's like, at that time, she's like, okay, it's definitely happening on Monday. So got her off a little bit. So yeah, we get there, we check out the falls, everything's. She has no idea at all. The funny thing is that like I set the camera up to start taking the pictures, and I forgot when I put it on timer. Mine does have a little blinker indicator light on it, which I very rarely use the timer on my camera. So then when I went back, which I should have did it differently, I hit record then at the end saying I wanted to make one more. And then she's like, it's not blinking. I'm like, I don't know, that's weird. And I should have known that and then just been like, just hit record, like go in tech and just be like, oh, it looks great. And just hit record without really saying anything.
Sure.
And then the other awkward thing was that, which I don't have this in the edit, I edited this part out, I just made the cuter part in the video, was I used my phone to record the audio because we're in front of all these waterfalls, the camera's 10 feet away, there's probably no way you're going to be able to hear us. And I had the phone on me because I scanned all the cards in, and then I was showing her on my phone a picture of each card to show her I wasn't lying with, what I was talking about with the cards. And that way, since I had the phone in front of me, I could record the audio and then sync it up. Well, anyways, when I hit record audio on my phone, I hit sleep. Apparently I didn't hit sleep. So she looked over and saw my phone was like recording audio. And she's like, what's the timer for? And I was like, for timing things? she's like, what are you timing? And I'm like, stressing out trying to figure out how I want to propose.
Sure.
And now I'm throwing this wild card. And I'm like, it's literally like 10 seconds of awkward silence. I'm like, you? Like, I had no idea.
One of the most important moments of your life, and you're running into a wall just repeatedly.
It was so funny. So then, yeah, go to the whole card thing, scan through, like, this is card, counted 13, 12, 11, and then read off the, that said, but in addition to that, also said countdown his thing, and that's like, read the cards off, and then I was like, so I stopped, grabbed the ring, got on one knee, and said, Amy, will you marry me? She said yes, and thankfully, and so we embraced everything, and so everything's good. So she did tell me before I knew all along she wanted to be surprised, like that was kind of her thing. So I was trying my best to be surprised, but like it's one of those things like she's going to figure stuff out. So I was like, well, we have to do something else to do a surprise, and she's going to figure this out, and I don't know if it's going to be big enough surprise for her per se.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was talking to her mom, and I was like trying to figure out what to do. And she said about going on a trip to Disney. And I'm like, no, I can't really fit that in the budget. And I was like, well, actually, let me calculate some numbers here. And so I calculated how much it was going to cost to go to Virginia, which was our plan, or just for the heck of it, fly to the Disney World. And it came out to not being that much more than what I was going to Disney World. I'm like, oh, great. People are going to make fun of me because I'm going to Disney World like 2 weeks after I got back. But whatever,
again, no one listening to this is surprised by that.
So I had enough points banked on Southwest to get the flights for free. So I got those and flew down. So what happened, and to surprise her with it all, I told her, I'm like, hey, I got dinner reservations tonight. And she's like, okay, awesome. I was like, now this is going to sound weird, but you have to trust me. I was like, we have to wear these badges to get in. They're required to get in. And she's like, oh, okay. So I go into my backpack, pull out the Disney World Just Engage buttons they used to have, and gave them to her, and she started crying and gave me a hug. She just thought it was some cute button that just to celebrate we're engaged,
Sure.
And she's like, so I knew she probably wouldn't get it per se, so I was like, all right, well, I pre-packed something else just in case. So I packed the magic bands, and so then I brought those out. I'm like, oh, yeah, also, we're going to need these to get in. And she's like, I'm not sure if she realized it yet or just, like, didn't want to jump to conclusions, I
mean,
so
she's like, pretty overwhelmed at this moment, all around.
So she's like, where are we going? And I'm like, do you want to go to Disney World with me? She's like, are you kidding me? I was like, no, we have a flight in 4 hours.
So you better say yes.
She's like, you're joking me. I was like, no, I'm serious. She's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. And she's like, just bawling at that point then.
As if you would joke about a thing like that, Jason.
Right. Well, it's funny when the people joked about it later down at Disney World, said about like, well, thankfully she said yes. I was like, I know, it would have been funny if she said no, and then if I would have been like, well, gotta cancel my plans to Disney World then. She'd be like, wait, no, I changed my mind.
Also, you wouldn't cancel your plans. You would still go.
100%. I would have called you up. Like Josh canceling plans. I would have prepaid trip to Disney World and I need someone to come.
Oh, man. Amy, if you're listening, why didn't you say no? I could have got something out of this deal.
So, it was...
Okay, let me say this. That was the most baller move like you could have possibly ever done. Like I bragged about what was going on to people I work with because I'm just like, oh my god, you got to know what my buddy is doing. Like this is so on point. Like I don't know how you pinpointed the details of this so perfectly, but when you first laid it out for me, I was just like, I want to marry you. Like, yeah, you're okay. It was so perfect, so perfectly planned, and you worked and stressed so hard to make sure that everything was in its place beforehand, and that's why you missed the week before you left on vacation, is because you were planning this entire trip beforehand, and you needed to make sure everything was in order.
Yeah, I mean, I had the situation of it was it's March and it's still kind of cold. That morning, the weather prediction was going to be like mid 40s to mid 50s at Virginia, which is cold but not terrible. It ended up being like 24 degrees. And then in Virginia it was going to be pretty cold as well. So I had to some way pack warm clothes for Amy without her knowing. So I had to and also I knew she'd want Disney stuff while we are down there. Obviously I want to be in Disney spirit. So I bought some stuff at the Disney store, some Disney clothes for her to wear, like t-shirts and stuff. So I had to pre-pack all the stuff, hidden in a way that she wouldn't find it per se, that wasn't like awkward, that made sense why I had this huge suitcase, like all this different stuff, and I had to lay everything out, make sure the backpack was packed a certain way to get, all these different things. And then the problem is, which is a great solution to have, was she ended up coming home the weekend beforehand unexpectedly because she had a job interview. And so she had to come in person for it. So that took away 3 or 4 days of planning for me because I wasn't about to do all that stuff in case she just showed up at the house for some reason.
Right.
Wanted to come over and make dinner, anything like that.
Sure.
So then there and then
sorry, Amy, I can't see you. I'm really busy for the next few days.
Yeah.
That would have been a great start to the vacation.
Yeah, so then I only had 48 hours to get ready to go. I had to make the video, had to make sure the ring was all packed, had to call the insurance company, make sure the ring was on the the personal artifacts policy, all this stuff. And I'm like, Josh, there's just no way I'm gonna be able to get this done. So I got everything done. Got 6 hours of sleep Friday and Saturday. Somehow I slept Saturday and Sunday. I thought I wasn't going to get any sleep at all.
Sure.
With everything of stressing out. Because again, it's not just and to her, we're just going on a trip. But me, I'm worried about the plane, worried make sure we get there in time, make sure obviously the proposal goes well, all these things. We're going to, go well. Because again, the funny thing is that the weekend before was warm. So I, again, not fully knowing anything about this park, it's pretty popular. They close it different times because it takes an hour in a line of cars to get there. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what if they close the park? What if it's super busy? And I'm like, geez. So thankfully they started opening it earlier at 7 o'clock. I'm like, there's going to be no way that people are going to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. There was 4 other people there, but still. So the stressing everything. And it, again, if you're in a healthy relationship, you are excited about something, you want to tell your, other half about the exciting stuff. I had to hold Disney's trip with Amy, who loves Disney literally as much as I do, for 2 months. Yeah. It was awful.
You were not allowed to talk about Disney World. That might have been the worst punishment for you this entire time.
The best part is thankfully I did go on that other trip, so I could kind of use that as an outlet.
Yeah.
So I kept talking about, oh man, I just missed Disney World, or I just can't wait to go again. Say stuff like that. Just because I had that outlet made sense. Because if I had just not talked about Disney at all, terrible. But yeah, and it was funny because her mom convinced her to pack shorts in case it gets warm and stuff, and because I told Virginia's a big state, so there was some spots in Virginia. She didn't really know where all we were going, and some places were supposed to get a little warm. But on Saturday, she was giving me so much crap, and she's like, "Pack shorts," they said. "Pack shorts," they said. And I'm like, you just wait, Amy. Just wait.
You're just please, just stop. I promise you, please, just stop.
So
you're gonna owe me so much for this.
And then making sure that her name on the I have no idea what her name is on the license. Her mom wasn't sure, so she her mom texted her and made up some stuff about student loan information. It's tax season, so she didn't really question it. To get all that figured out and make sure she even brought her license, because really there's no reason she had to.
Sure.
Per se. But I mean,
you should always carry your license with you. I mean, let's be real.
But yeah, it's there's just different things, and I had to go out and buy camis for the t-shirts too because I wasn't sure she was gonna bring any camis at all. Like this different stuff I had to make sure it was all packed in this trip. I was so stressed.
Right.
So I told her like afterwards, like I forget what she said. She wanted me to get some like a drink or something at Disney World, something. Or she's like, "What?" I was like, "What do you want?" She's like, "Just surprise me." I'm like, "No." I was like, "We're done with surprises."
I'm not making any more decisions from here on out.
I was like, "I'm retiring on top," you know. So it was a good time going down there. The buttons are super fun if you ever get engaged or married or anything like that. It's fun wearing the buttons. People get excited about it.
Sure.
She got to brag a little bit on me, and a bunch of the cast members were super excited. We got a couple of different freebies.
So how did you get the button ahead of time?
So they changed the buttons now. There's buttons you can get for free just at the town hall. They just give them out, stuff like first time, I'm celebrating, and they used to have just engaged, just married, stuff like that. Well, they tied the just married, just engaged, and anniversary ones all into one button that says like happily ever after, which that's lame. That could mean anything, you know, because there's a difference between just getting engaged and celebrating an anniversary. I mean, that's two completely different things, you know. So I just bought them on eBay.
Okay.
And a person at me, stressing about things, I bought 2 sets. I had 4 of them total. Packed 2 in one suitcase and 2 in the other one, just in case we lost one or something happened. At least I had some backups. But yeah, so I got those ahead of time.
Can we just talk about the stark difference between this trip to Disney World and the trip 2 weeks ago, where you literally just threw a couple of pieces of clothing in a backpack on your way to the airport after work and just went down to Disney World without thinking about anything? Like,
I just played Pokemon Go the whole time while I was down there last time.
Yeah, you had no plans. Like, you're just like, whatever, I'm just going to Disney World for a couple days, I'll be right back. Yeah. And then this one, like, you spent months planning and like making sure everything was just on point.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, it all worked great. It was hard coming home. She was a trooper at all, because she said sometime like months ago about when we talked about Williamsburg, she's like, well, I just don't know how much walking I'm going to want to do. And I'm like, well, guess what? If you come to Disney World with the Greer family, it's sunrise and sunset at that park.
Right.
So, and it's like I said all the time, like Disney World's like you don't really realize how much walking you're doing.
Sure.
I think on the one day was the day I told her, like, I'm not, we can quit anytime. We're doing Epcot and Hollywood Studios both on the same day. And you can take the buses or the boat back and forth. But with how we were scheduling things, it was pretty tight. The best thing to do to walk, because there's a path you can walk between the two. And it's supposed to be like a 20 to 30 minute walk. And we did it in like 15 minutes. Like we were hauling tail. We did like 36,000 steps, I think, that day. And that also to get to the Frozen ride, because I did all the fast passes at Hollywood Studios and then book anything at Epcot. So if you want to do the Frozen ride, which neither of us have done yet, you have to do it like right at the very, very beginning of park opening, and everybody does it. So we ran from the beginning of Epcot to the Frozen ride. Then since we didn't have fast pass, we had to get back to do Soarin', so we ran back after that. A lot of running, because I was like dead beat after that day. Thankfully it was our last day, so we just crashed afterwards. But yeah, super fun time. Tweeted out a couple pictures that we had today. The Inside Out characters were hilarious with the proposal. All the characters were acting up with the stuff, except for Kylo Ren. Our Kylo Ren meet and greet was awkward as all get out.
Wasn't it? Did we meet Kylo Ren when we went?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. It was awkward then too, right?
Yeah, but this was like, because he has like it's a pre-recorded script. Like I think it's his play. You go in and just does its spiel kind of thing, and it was like 2 minutes before that station was closed. So typically Disney's great all about, but like our photographer person, like you could tell, just wanted to be done for the day.
Right. Gave
us no direction. We're just kind of like standing. All the pictures are terrible, absolutely terrible. Except for the one I texted you, it was somewhat funny.
Sure.
But it was just awful. And then I got it, I'm like, well, that was a waste. But Baymax was super funny. The Inside Out crew was great. Pluto and Minnie Mouse loved the ring. They also did the recreation thing that the Inside Out characters did. Belle was fun. The Beast was all excited. He danced with Amy. All kind of funness.
Nice. How was the food?
Oh, so good. Who is that? Who is that? I was trying to remember. Who was the one that said Disneyland food was terrible?
Colin.
Colin, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what? I don't understand. Um, yeah, so we Sunday night, I totally had reservations for dinner. We just went to Cosmic Rays, which is just one of the quick service restaurants down there. Nothing special, but we were just trying to find something cheaper per se to get. Because I got reservations at the dessert party, which is it's a dessert buffet and you get to watch the fireworks. So it's a reserved seating area. Have I told you the update story about that? How I'm like, I almost think to go?
Nope.
Okay, so I'll tell you that in a second. But yeah, so it's unlimited dessert buffet. We get to like different drinks and ice cream. Like it's Amy and Jason to a T. Plus, you get the reserved seat and watch the fireworks.
Fireworks, desserts, Disney World. Like, could you possibly add any more to that to make it like you in a nutshell?
The best. It was so good. The funny thing, which I didn't even tell you this story yet, that Wednesday before the trip, I was going over there and Amy was unpacking from school and packing, getting ready for the trip and going everything with her mom. And we're lying there and her mom's watching some fireworks thing about the Disney show. So she's talking about Disney and Amy starts talking about Disney and stuff about her trips and I asking her about like what her favorite rides were. Just questions that weren't, clues for anything, but kind of helped me in planning things. Out of left field, she goes, "Do you know about this dessert place they have down there?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Yeah, Mom took me and her sister on her birthday to this dessert buffet. You get to watch the fireworks from there." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know how I held my composure. I have no idea." She's like, "Oh, it was great, Bob. This and that." And I'm like, "This is terrible." Like, I'm just not making eye contact. And she's talking about how great it was and everything. So then, like, thankfully it goes on. I get a text from her mom that night, and she's like, "I almost died." So, super good. Anyways, I told you about it. It was available on Saturday. Monday, I bought the tickets. Go to reservations. No more reservations available for the dessert buffet. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. I was like, this is going to be the best way to end the night. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I called the hotline, waited like 20 minutes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be that person who uses the card all the time, but it's the one time in my life I can use the card, so I'm going to use it. And I told the lady, I'm like, hey, I saw these are available on Saturday. I went to buy tickets today. I was like, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend that day, and this is going to be a great way to end the night. We're taking a trip to Disney. That's a surprise, blah, blah. And I was like, this would be great. She's like, oh, that's amazing. Give me 1 second. Comes back like 2 minutes later. I got you in.
Nice.
So, and obviously they always have extra reservations for case of emergencies, VIP, stuff like that.
Sure.
So thankfully it worked. I'm like, typically I hate people who like use stuff like that, but right. I feel like it was.
Look, you're not going to use it every time.
Right.
You're not going to overuse it. You actually have like the best reason to ever use it. I feel like you're justified.
Right. That's how I feel.
If not, some other schmucks are going to get it that aren't going to even appreciate it the way that you guys did.
Sure.
Yeah. Think of it like that.
Yeah, right. So it went through fine. Had a great time there. Then Monday, I'm trying to remember what we did for lunch that day. Oh, at the Revere Tavern, which is my favorite restaurants in Disney World. It's the Colonial America spot. So I told him, like, hey, we're kind of going to Colonial Williamsburg still. In that area. They were posting stuff on Snapchat. Some friend from high school that she hadn't talked to in a couple of years works in the Disney College program, worked at Be Our Guest, which Be Our Guest reservations are unavailable like 3 months ahead of time. Like you have to book it that far out. So I've been trying every single day and could not get in. She was doing college program. She's like, oh, I'll get you in, no problem. And she's like, come at 4:30 and say you're friends with me. So we did, showed up, and we got in. So we got in for Be Our Guest reservations, which was great.
So it's somebody Amy hasn't spoken to in a couple of years then?
Yeah.
Okay, because I told the story to Val, right? The first question out of her mouth was, how in the... A few expletives possibly were in there. Would Amy not know that she has a friend who works at Disney World? And I was like, you know what? I don't know what Amy's circle of friends are. I don't know how large her net is cast on social media and what she considers friends and whatnot. Like, I don't know the backstory, but yes, I agree. It would be very odd for Amy not to know that she had a friend who is working at Disney World.
Yeah, so she's, as far as I know, she just hasn't talked to her in a while. I'm sure that, I don't really know if they're Facebook friends, it might be, but I think they are. But I think it's just don't talk to them so you don't really notice it per se.
Acquaintance.
Yeah.
At this
point. Yeah, so she was super nice, and she like got us in. We had the nicest waitress in the world. Gave us, they have like happy birthday cards that they give out if your birthday's there, and it's signed from Belle and Beast. Like it's ones, they probably have like stacks of thousands of them that some person just goes through and signs them all. Wait, the waitress went back and changed it and wrote happy engagement, and signed it from her also, and it's like, you know, congratulations, hope you have like magical years and visits to come, something like that. So that was super sweet. Made us like this engagement dessert thing that she brought. It was this, again, Disney going over the top.
Sure,
amazing.
Sure. Yeah.
And there was actually somebody 2 tables over from us who got married that day over at Port Orleans. Were there in their wedding dress and tux, just eating dinner.
They one-upped you?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And I was like, those people are champs. Like, she's just sitting there eating dinner in their wedding dress. Like, I couldn't imagine going to Disney World in my wedding dress. You know, like, that's incredible.
Why not? You are the focus. You walk around and people are paying attention to you. You know?
Like, is there like ride restrictions with that? Like, I don't. It's crazy. Yeah, so we did that, and then Tuesday we went ate at the beer garden in Germany at Epcot. Super delicious place. Like had a buffet dinner there. She loves Germany, so it's fun to take her there. But yeah, had a wonderful time. The new thing they have right now is popcorn. You can get these popcorn containers, refillable popcorn containers.
I'm having flashbacks, Jason. This is bad.
The carriage was there. The carriage was there. I did not buy it.
It's not as appealing when you could just buy it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it was Michael found. Like I personally didn't see it, but it was there 2 weekends ago when my brother-in-law was still there when I left.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't need it. But Disney is pretty good. I forget how much the tub is, but you get a refill on popcorn in a tub for like $1.50, which at Disney World, that's a cheap snack.
Oh, wow.
So, and then some places have flavored ones. It's kind of like an unadvertised, kind of like a secret thing.
Sure.
But there's one stand in Frontierland in the Magic Kingdom that has maple popcorn, and it is delicious.
What's the line for that?
Nothing, like 3 people long.
Wow.
People don't know. There's like one in like Epcot, I think this has Animal Kingdom, I think this has buffalo chicken popcorn. So a couple different hidden spots that you can get flavored popcorn. So we got that, but yeah, it was a real good time. The crazy plan I told you before about the fireworks worked out fine.
Yep.
Went to Hollywood Studios, rode our fast passes there. Went saw Fantasmic, finished Fantasmic, got out of the line to watch the Star Wars fireworks. Then walked from Hollywood Studios to Epcot. You go back to Epcot to watch their nighttime fireworks. Then stayed there for Etric Magic Hours for a couple of hours, and then went home. So we got at the park 7:00, 7:30, and then left at like 11:00 that night.
Like you do,
man. Get your money's worth.
Absolutely. Did you dive into the nachos this time?
I did not. I kept telling. There's different times I kept telling Amy we're gonna go do it. She's like, we're not gonna go do it. So I showed her where the restaurant was, which is right next to the maple popcorn stand.
Sure.
So I started walking that way, and she's like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "Amy, we're not doing the nachos again."
I've learned my lesson. I promise. Traveling, there was no issues, no delays.
Here's the funny thing. I don't think I even told you this spot.
No.
Amy's family is known. They call themselves the Griswold family. As far as traveling goes, like any of the National Lampoon, like where everything always happens, like all the cars always break down on every vacation. So tying that into my travel delays, like Amy and I have joked that we need to pack like 2 days worth of clothes extra because something's going to happen. And the flight from Washington, D.C., where we took off Dulles National Airport, to Orlando is a 2-hour and 10-minute flight. Okay? We got there 40 minutes early.
Wow. How does that happen?
We left a little bit early, I guess, but still caught some good tailwinds. Wow. And like everybody was like, it was a full flight and everybody was in their seats ready to go. So I guess they left like 10-15 minutes early. I mean, might as well, I guess.
Sure.
And get cleared. And so Amy, they said about getting there early, which, 5-10 minutes happens all the time.
Yeah.
And so we were there a little bit when we went to watch Inside Out because I was like, all right, we'll have plenty of time to watch this movie. And Southwest, you can log in to the Wi-Fi for free and check the flight status. And it said like 15 minutes to go. I'm like, what? And I asked her, she's like, yeah, she said we're getting in early. I'm like, there's no way we're getting in that early. And it turns out we did. So we got to like Disney World like an hour plus earlier than I thought we were going to, which was nice. So we got in there, and then the flight back, again, no had no issues. We got in like 15 minutes early. So who really knows what's going on with that? But maybe she's the secret.
So the flight gods basically only smile down upon you on very special occasions like getting engaged.
I guess so.
So
the next trip we have where we're not a special occasion, we might be screwed.
Yeah. Your D23 trip in a couple months is not going to go as planned. I can guarantee you that. You better tell Amy that she better have enjoyed the easy traveling that she enjoyed this time, because
especially because that one's gonna be a complicated one, because before or after we're gonna stop at Disney World, so we're gonna stop at Orlando on the way or on the way back. So it's something bad's gonna happen.
It's bound to.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're engaged to be married.
Yep.
Do we have a wedding date set?
Nothing yet. Zoning in September of 2018 at the moment.
Okay.
We have a date in mind, but we're still, checking venues and all that kind of fun stuff.
Sure.
But
everybody listening to this is invited, I'm sure, right?
100%.
Okay, perfect. Man, your life has changed so dramatically in just like the few months, man. I remember your and Amy's very first date. I will never forget that. I will never forget the phone call afterwards.
I called you at like 1 a.m. my time.
Yeah. That's why I got concerned, because I knew how late it was on your side of the world. And I was like, oh, this is it. I'm going to actually have to bail him out. Like, we have come to that moment. This is happening. I will never forget that, and it's crazy that we are here talking about this, but I am so happy for you guys. I'm so excited for you guys. I'm so glad that everything worked out well. I know the community is just absolutely in love with everything that happened, and the few updates that you were able to provide, and I'm glad you stayed off. You backed off, and you only posted a few pictures here and there, and otherwise we're just enjoying your time with her as you should have been. And regardless, I'm happy for you. Congratulations. You found someone special, and she did as well. And it's only going to get better from here.
I'm excited.
Yeah, but
it's been crazy, and it was funny. Like after that date, because again, everything's so exciting. Obviously, all my friends are in bed. I'm like, I need to call someone to talk about this, and you knew all about all the stuff leading up to it.
Yeah.
I'm like, forget it. I'm just gonna call Josh at like 1 o'clock in the morning my time. But and the wedding has already been pre-approved. Amy has already said it's fine. Vince is already on notice. Periscope will happen.
Yes.
So there will be a live stream available. So don't you worry.
This is gonna be so good.
She laughed at it because there was like at least 3 tweets about it from different people.
Sure.
Like I think I remember Jeff Grimes, I think was one of them. Maybe I'm trying to remember who it all was, but different people were saying it before, like, about being better be periscoped if this was already with Periscope too. I know Link Your Mar, one guy, because the other day Chicken Cheese were periscoping something. Yeah. Like if you're periscoping this, I'm assuming you're gonna periscope the wedding. So it's happening. Vince is on notice. He'll be periscoping. So.
Also, congratulations on. It looks like you already have a best man picked out. They are currently writing their speech for the wedding. So I'm excited to hear what Shopkins Inquirer has to say about that.
I don't know. He's like challenged in the like we talked to the stormtroopers when we were in Hollywood Studios.
Right.
And they agreed to be bouncers, and Shopkins took it upon a challenge. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
All seriousness, if you're in the area and you want to come, send me a DM. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, that's right. As long as nobody takes my seat, that's all I care about.
You know what? Your seat will be front and center, Joshua.
Yeah. Better be. Right next to SCL Matt. All fun. I'm glad everything went well. But we actually have to get down to some business. We actually have to talk about some things here that people usually turn into the podcast for. Toys and stuff. The serious things to talk about.
The real things.
look, let's be real. In the couple of weeks that you're gone, it's been a slow news week. Nintendo's putting out new consoles. Other big giant games are coming. It's not the hottest time of the year for the toys to life genre. Let's just be real here. But
Sure.
we do have some things to talk about. And let's see. Let's go ahead and get started with Skylanders. Skylanders Imaginators. This part of the podcast is sponsored by our good friend Matt Sonnenberg. You can find him on Twitter at SCLMatt. You can go over to sclmatt.com and check out all the things that he's into, links to various different projects, and go over there and wish him happy birthday, because you know what? He needs to pick me up every now and then. What's going on with Skylanders, Jason?
Before we start Skylanders, I did want to say, because I know we don't have anything in the thing, Disney Infinity update for you.
Oh, okay.
Just as a stats update, Disney Infinity is still on the consoles and Hollywood Studios. You can still go play Disney Infinity there. Also, the Disney Infinity billboard still has not been taken down yet. It's in Star Wars Land construction, so you can't really see it unless you like peek around the corner.
Sure.
But it's still up there. It's kind of sad at the same time, but it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, look, Disney Infinity's still here. No more codes. Obviously, codes are worthless anymore because you can't
Right.
use them online. But it's still there if you want to play Disney Infinity in Disney World. You can still do it.
Good to know. Oh, you know what? Actually, speaking of Disney Infinity, I finally watched Moana for the first time.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful movie. Like,
Right.
everything about it, just gorgeous, top to bottom. But I couldn't help thinking at the end of it, this would have been such an incredible playset.
so good.
The colors, the music, like the life, it would have been just phenomenal. And that made me super sad when I came to that realization of just like, oh man, they were so close.
How do you feel about the Shiny song?
The Shiny song.
Yeah, the crab.
Oh, so good.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Amy hates
Underappreciated. What? Call it off. I'm sorry. Why does she hate it?
She just does.
I don't understand.
So, anytime she's like looking at a ring or something like that, she says about something being shiny. I go, "Shiny." She's like, just stop.
Right.
Hey, you said the word.
Well, you know what it was intended to be, right?
Yes.
Okay. The actor that was playing the voice of the crab and singing, that was his rendition of a David Bowie impersonation.
Right.
And that's kind of fantastic because, like,
Play the Concords guy.
yeah. I mean, there's no real reason for him to go straight up David Bowie with it, but I thought he pulled it off very well, and it worked well because it stood out as a different song than everything else.
Yeah, and I think it's like in every Disney movie, there's always like this is like the Frozen, the Trolls song, the
Yeah.
Garden, or like it's just what, like it just doesn't fit.
Or the Olaf Summertime song.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's pure comedic, but yeah. Also, did you watch the end of the credits or like with the scene with the crab when he like there's a bonus scene with the crab, something about like I forget what he says.
Ooh, I don't know.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it on Blu-ray? Or did you watch it in theaters?
Blu-ray?
Still? Okay. There's something at the end, like the credits about like the crab's like upside down or something, and you make some comment about like humping up. Anyways, it's not in the theater version. I think they added it to the Blu-ray release.
Okay.
Also, I liked it. I didn't love it when I watched it, but Amy said she liked it much better the second time through, so I'll have to watch it a second time.
Sure.
But
The movie or the scene?
the movie,
Oh, okay.
like it didn't live up to my expectations. It wasn't bad. I just was expected to be just loved it. And I didn't the first time.
Sure.
Still liked it. Still think it's a great movie. One of the greatest Disney movies recently. It just wasn't like I was expecting much more. But who knows? But second time maybe it'll work out better. This is gonna be no Cars 3. Let's just be honest.
Will anything though?
Nope.
No.
Nothing at all. Yeah, so Skylanders for the Cursed Tiki Temple is starting to come out overseas in Europe, some places.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're over in Europe, you can get your hands on that. The U.S. it still has not come out yet. Where is it at? We don't know. But
It's hanging out with Thrillipede, I'm sure.
hanging out. But this is not the most reassuring thing after Skylanders says like, no, we're bringing out a bunch of content, but it's just not coming yet.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they even had like a date attached to it, which is so
Right.
anti-Skylanders.
For being that far out too. Like this is coming, this date like 2 months from now.
Yeah. I really don't understand why it wouldn't be everywhere, you know? And honestly, it should have been there along with the launch of the Switch.
Right, 100%.
You know, like that. The fact that it was pushed back a week and a half from the launch of the Switch is the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, you know, you're putting out a Switch version on launch day of the console. Why don't you have this bonus content that you're also talking about at the same time alongside that?
Yep.
It makes no sense.
Add-on sales.
Absolutely.
Skylanders, come on.
Buy one, get this half off or whatever. You know, buy a starter pack and get this for 50% off or whatever. Like, so many different things they could have done and just ridiculous. And now, I mean, maybe they didn't do that because they knew it wouldn't be available in the States yet for whatever reason.
Sure.
Which is crazy. But
yeah, I have no idea, but it's like it's not showing me. Like this isn't like it's not coming. Obviously, it's coming. It's just weird. But it's what we grow to expect from Skylanders. So hopefully it comes soon. Obviously, myself and obviously SEL Matt will be keeping you updated as best we can with any kind of movement of it coming here to the States.
Right. But in the meantime, I suggest everybody just go over to Twitter, type in @SCLMatt, and just say, "Hey Matt, do you have an update on the Cursed Tiki Temple yet?"
Yeah, I mean, wake up, get your cereal. I would recommend right now. I'm a Reese's Puffs guy. They have Easter Bunny shaped Reese's Puffs. So if you want to get in the spring Easter spirit, go buy those. Eat your bowl of Reese's Puffs bunnies.
Mm-hmm.
Tweet at Matt each morning, be like, "Hey, new day. Any updates?"
Yeah, every morning. First, start off with happy birthday.
Yes.
By the way, do you have any updates on the Cursed Tiki Temple?
Yes.
Eventually, he'll crack, and he'll give us the scoop on what's going on with it. But right now, he's keeping that close to the chest here. So
that's right. That's right.
Speaking of the Skylanders game on Switch, Jason.
Yes, sir.
I got it. You got it.
I did.
You have had zero time to play it.
Right.
Understandably so. I've actually played it for a couple hours. Now, I actually got 2 copies of this game.
Hoo-hoo.
Because when I roll into Best Buy at midnight to pick up my pre-order of the Switch and all the games and amiibo and such, first of all, I don't show up early to line up in a line because I got a pre-order, right?
Pre-orders are so 2016. Josh.
You know what? Pre-orders do wonders for you. You know what is so last year is waiting in lines for things. That's stupid, right?
I waited in line. Now I had a pre-order, man.
Well, you're ridiculous, and so is everybody else. Like Brett. Brett went and waited in a line at Best Buy for over 3 hours having a pre-order. I said, Brett, what are you doing? He was like, I just want to hang out with people. I'm like,
Yeah,
Brett,
man.
There are better places to go hang out with people than a line at Best Buy. Maybe a line at Disneyland, you know, where you could just walk into whenever you want.
But there's a Pokestop next to GameStop, man.
Not worth it. Not worth it. So for a midnight release, I roll up there, not like at 11, 11:30. No, I show up at 12:15, Jason. Like I do. And I just walk right up to the customer service counter because that's where they're directing people with pre-orders to go. And there's like one person ahead of me now. And then, I tell them my name, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll go find your order. And they just came out with a shopping cart. And I just see everybody else that's waiting in line. They've been waiting there for hours. Most people have... Most of the line on the other side of me consisted of just the people that were there that waited in line, got numbers ahead of time, and are buying ones from the stock that they have, right?
How many did it have? Do you remember?
60 or so.
Wow.
Yeah. So, as you get let in one at a time, you also have your, the first dibs of what else you want to buy along with it. So everybody's buying their copies of Zelda and whatnot. But then you see, like, everybody with, like, a Pro Controller or an extra pair of Joy-Cons or maybe an amiibo or 2. Everybody has just a couple of items, And then this guy pushes from the back this shopping cart, and everybody just kind of looks and turns. And from the point where he pushed it out from. He had to go all the way around to the other side of the counter with it to go ring me up, which meant I had to walk by everybody, and so did he with a shopping cart full of stuff. And I heard people in the crowd, "Oh my God, he got like everything. Oh my God, look at all that stuff he got. This, oh my God, he's getting everything." I'm like, yeah, of course I'm getting everything. It's a launch. This is how you do things, right?
That's how you do it, man. Buy the suite.
But I couldn't figure out why it just seemed like there was far more stuff than there should have been. And it was hectic. It was middle of the night. I wasn't thinking clearly. I just want to get home and start playing. And then I get home and I'm like emptying my bags of stuff. And I realized I have 2 starter packs for Skylanders. That's why this was such a massive order. So I start pouring through everything. I'm like, nope, I definitely didn't pay for this one. So Skylanders sold a little bit better because of me that night. Now, I've put a couple hours into it. I will say this. It is still Skylanders Imaginators, and that's a good thing. It plays well. It's still fun. It looks great on the Switch. It's not as crystal clear and beautiful on the TV as it would be on your PS4 or Xbox One. You know, the resolution just seems just turned down just a skosh. So it's a little noticeable, but you know what? Not really. Not too much, unless you're really concerned about that sort of stuff. But playing it on handheld mode, fantastic. Now, my concern going into this was the whole gimmick of scanning your Skylanders in and it all being saved, right? I'm thinking, this could go really bad really quickly. At this point, I haven't used any of the amiibo yet, so this is going to be like my first time scanning things into the Switch with the NFC little joystick. So, here's the thing, and I have not done more studies on this yet. I haven't got back to it because I've just been lost in Zelda, as everybody else has. But I'm playing the first few levels of Skylanders, right? And I'm in the middle of a level, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to scan in a new character. So I get one of my characters out, and I scan him in, and it registers, and it says, boom, now you're playing as Pinata. Awesome. Great. And then I go to, like, the menu, and you pause the game, and you go to the menu screen, and you go over to swap Skylanders, or whatever it says. And then I'll pull up a list of all the Skylanders that you've scanned in. So the first time I'm doing this, I scanned in a few at a time, and then I go and check out the list that I had to work with, and they're all kind of shaded out. Like, they're not, the profiles, the pictures of the Skylanders aren't popping up. Like, they're there, you can see them, but they're shaded out. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So then I try to select one, and it won't let me select it. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I've already scanned it. So then, when I actually select it, then it brings up the portal again, and it says, please scan your Skylander. I'm like, okay, well, I've already scanned it. Why am I scanning it again? This is stupid.
Sure.
So I grab my Pinata, and I rescan it, and it registers. And then, I exit out, and then I go back to the menu, and then I look, and now all of a sudden, it's unshaded, and it's bright, and it's colorful, and it's vibrant. So I do that with all the other ones. And then now, because I scanned them a second time, now they're permanently in the game.
Huh.
So, the only thing I don't know, and I try explaining this to Matt, is I don't know if it's just because I was doing it in the middle of a level. If I were to do this like in the hub world, would I need to scan them in a second time? But it was kind of weird because when one of my characters got killed, say Pinata, which depressing. Don't even get me started on that. Then I would go back to the menu and I'd have to pick a new Skylander to play as. Pinata would be shaded out like he was the first time. So I'm like, oh crap. Because now I'm thinking, do I have to rescan them in each time I want to use them? Because if that's the case, this is suddenly the most non-portable Skylanders game that they've ever promised. Right? I'm like, this is stupid. This is no longer what they were telling us it was going to be. Because I'm not going to carry my figures around with me. And if I want to play this on the go, now it looks like I'm going to need to scan these characters in each time I want to use them. It was almost like I could scan them in, save them for that play session, but if I wanted to use them again, I would need to rescan them. I'm not having that. Not at all. So I'm mad. I'm pissed, right? I'm just like, oh god, this is how are we going to justify this to the community when we were so excited about this and what they were promising us it was going to be. Now it's not that. It's not that portable game that they were saying it was. So I finished that level. I'm in the hub world now, and I'm running around. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go to the menu. I'm going to go select some characters and see what's going on here. Open it up. Boom. Everybody's lit back up again. Ready to go. So it shading it out was just essentially saying that those characters were dead.
Oh, that makes sense.
And not let me play. Like, you can't use them again in this level. Once I finished that level, they came back to life, and I was able... But I still had to scan them all 2 times, right? Now, Again, I don't know if that's just because I was in the middle of a level, or that's just the way it is. If anybody else out there has been playing it, and they ran into the same thing, let us know. But I could manage doing the double scan. As long as I never have to do it again, that's fine,
Sure. Yeah, I bet you it is the fact that you're in a level. For some reason, it just doesn't save completely. But yeah, it's odd, though.
Yeah. But, I mean, other than that, like, then I went to another level, and it's like, okay, I want to change to a different guy, and I picked somebody else, and, everything had been saved from, the level progression of the characters and such, and it was super easy to go to and select which character I wanted to play as, and, it worked as promised. It was just that initial double scan, which I'm not sure about why. But other than that, good to go.
Sweet.
So, I can say with full confidence that if you enjoy Skylanders Imaginators and you're looking for Skylanders on the go on your Switch, even if you wait for some sales prices, whatever, like, I still recommend picking it up. It's still a fun game. It plays perfectly on the Switch, and you're not going to have to carry around your characters or use a portal or anything like that. Scan it in. It had no problem scanning the figures. You do have to hold them there for like 3 seconds to do like a full scan, but that's tolerable. I could deal with that.
It's not Skylanders' fault, but man, I just wish those docks were not so expensive. There's been I'm still having to decide if I want to keep my Switch in my living room or my bedroom.
Sure.
Because I would play the heck out of Skylanders in bed, man. Like Saturday morning, sit there and play Skylanders a couple hours before I get out.
Right.
Be like Saturday morning as a kid all over again.
Yep.
Be great.
See, what you could do is just get a second Switch, like Val and I did. And we have one in our bedroom and one in our living room, the docks. So whoever has our Switches anywhere, we're good to go.
Because that is the funny thing, because I was adding it up with my brother and Michael. I was like, okay, if you buy an extra dock and you buy an extra Joy-Con, at that point, you might as well buy a second system.
Sure.
And I just wish there was something like more use of having a second system. You know, beyond the fact that it's given to Amy. But again, where she's at, then it kind of defeats the purpose, because she's going to need everything that I need to buy it for.
Right.
So
yeah. Well, I know what I'm getting you for a wedding present. So
yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that's all I got to say about Skylanders on the Switch. It works. Moving right along, let's chat about, while we're talking about Nintendo, Amiibo, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Amiibo, sponsored by a good friend, Michael O'Driscoll. You can find him on Twitter at amiibo_museum. He is engaged as well, because it's the season of love here at Toys for Games. His wonderful fiance, her name is Anya. She is a singer. You could check out her album, which is called And the Light Comes In, on Spotify if you want. And then, if you want to help them out a little bit, you could go pick that sucker up on iTunes. So check them out. Again, Michael O'Driscoll, they are hurling quite quickly into marriage here. That's coming up in just a few months. I don't know if he's periscoping it, but, maybe since you're throwing the challenge down for your own wedding, maybe he'll step up.
Yeah, I'll wear a tuxedo T-shirt if we get to watch Periscope at his wedding.
That'd be fantastic. So, let's talk about Amiibo, shall we?
Let's do it. Yeah, so a couple of things for Amiibo this week. First, the big news as far as actual figures go. Almond, I keep wanting to call it Cecilia. And
Me too.
Celica.
I was typing it and I was typing in Cecilia.
Yeah. Alm and Celica, the new Fire Emblem amiibo. They're coming out for Fire Emblem's Echo Shadows of Valentia. The 2-pack that's coming out. We did get some more information as far as functionality with those go. We did know before that they unlocked a special dungeon via Amazon Japan leak. But then this week we also got some information from the official Japanese page for the amiibo functionality. I'll just read a quote here from Ricky Berg over at NintendoWire.com, who sums it up nicely. He says, "You'll also be able to write Alm and there we go again, Alm and Celica's stats to the respective amiibo. This will allow you to summon them via a special amiibo command as phantoms with their stats based on their scanned version. Other amiibo will be able to be used for summoning phantom soldiers as well, though it sounds like only Alm and Celica have access to more specific use of the feature. In other words, it doesn't sound like we'll be calling other heroes into battle via their amiibo." So again, it's kind of cool with this, beyond just unlocking a dungeon, there's a secondary use for them, not something just like unlocking a skin. I mean, this is two big functionality per se.
Absolutely.
I mean, both of those in previous games, you would get either or of the functionality. So it's kind of nice we're getting two for this. So,
it's stuff that adds to the game that you're already enjoying, and adds a deeper level of play, instead of just something that's just strictly vanity. But it's also like not required to still enjoy the game the way you want it to either.
Right.
So.
Yeah, excited to see what that's like. But if you're a Fire Emblems fan, seems like it could be a pretty good investment.
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing is we did get some new Smash Brothers amiibo information. The safety certificates, the CSPIA certificates.
Yeah, it's been way too long since we talked about some safety certs.
Man, you gotta get them safety certifications out there. Still don't understand why nobody else has these except for amiibo.
No, they're out there. Nobody else cares. That's the thing.
Yeah. I just don't think anyone has. I think they're all like the restaurant information. Like if you want to see this documentation, you need to ask.
Sure.
If you need to see this elevator inspections, feel free to ask the front desk.
Do you remember back in the day, like the first time we saw these certifications?
Yeah.
Like, people lost their minds about them.
I think, was it golden? No, I guess it was. Was it before the gold and silver amiibo?
I want to say yes. I think it was like the second wave.
Okay, I just remember the gold and silver being like the big thing.
Yeah.
When those came out, but
and then everybody's trying to like piece them together as far as like what the codes meant and what sets they'd fall into. And...
Oh, right. Remember that time the Nintendo never announced the silver amiibo? They're just gonna plan on stealthily release it. I should do that again.
Remember that time they released an amiibo on Black Friday at Walmart?
That was the best. Made my life. Still best phone call I've ever made. Me with Jason when I broke that news. He's like, "Hey," like he's at some party, and I'm like, "Jason, breaking news." He's like, "What's that?" I was like, "Walmart's Black Friday ads out. They have the 8-bit Mario exclusive. It's coming out exclusively at Walmart on Black Friday." Dear God! And he like hangs up the phone.
I miss those calls with that guy.
Oh, so fun. But yeah, so anyways, there's 4 new amiibo coming in the Super Smash Bros. Line. We know 3, so it seems to be a 4th one coming. The 4th one's also a single. It's not a double pack or a triple pack. So your guess is as good as ours what it could possibly be. Was a new DLC character, whether it's a reskin of somebody, who knows? But probably, I mean, it's definitely in the Smash Brothers line. Unless Nintendo for some reason goes completely against what they are already been setting up as far as model numbers go.
Right.
But again, we've talked before about saying that one of these is going to be exclusively in a bundle for the game.
Yeah.
But perhaps maybe that's what it is. There's going to be a new character that's going to be exclusive to a bundle. Not one of these 3 already promised, but maybe a new DLC character and new reskin. I don't really care what it is. I'm excited for something else.
The ARMS character.
Yeah, that's good call on that. I hope so much. Don't even announce it. Just show up.
Yeah, just roll it out.
The best.
Just get that spark back. That's all they need to do. It's just something like that.
My favorite part about the whole thing is like because the Super Mario, like the picture, then the picture leak at like then that's when they used to have the pictures on the certificates, and so we knew about it for like 3 months.
Well,
and like
that was the end cap poster at a Walmart in Puerto Rico, wasn't it?
Oh right. And then like the day of or the day before, they're like, guess what? We surprised you.
Oh, I miss those days so much.
I forgot about the end cap poster. That was the best.
Yeah, Puerto Rico.
People are like, this isn't real.
We were like, no, nobody would Photoshop that. Like, that's 100% real.
I was just thinking, I don't even remember why I was even remembering it. The same thing with the Disney Infinity leak when 3.0 leaked out. Like they got, for some reason I was thinking about Game Informer, and I remember Disney. That's what it was. For some reason I was thinking about Game Informer. Then Game Informer reminded me of the Disney Infinity, and when they had announced that, and it leaked the day before because of like, or 2 days before, whatever it was, because of that random like retailer online like posted the stuff. It's just like, why did they give them this information?
Right.
It was a random online retailer.
Yeah.
Oh man, good times.
Yeah. Do you remember when Nintendo got away with just sending out 4 amiibo to one store? Do you remember that? That was fun.
Going on the 2 other Fire Emblem characters out there was like 4 at Toys R Us, and I was telling Vince, it's on the bottom shelf.
Oh, there's
going, we have enough for everybody. So fun.
A book waiting to be wrote. Yeah, amiibo. That's amiibo. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room here.
Do it.
Lego Dimensions. Lego Dimensions, part of the podcast, is sponsored by the now grieving, super sad James Holian. Go over and send him love on Twitter and say, hey, you know what, James? We're with you, buddy. We love you. He's sad. He's sad about this potential news. He's sad about Disney Infinity still. He needs a cheering up. Go over there. Wish him happy birthday. You know? Everybody loves hearing that, even if it's not their birthday. Go over Twitter at Infinity Museum. Say hi to James. Tell him we love you, James. Now, Lego Dimensions. Now, what is actually going on here? Do you know? Do we know? Does anyone know?
No official statement yet. This is kind of like one of the Skylanders things. Who knows if/when they're even going to make an official announcement. I mean, if you remember when Disney Infinity announced that they were canceled, people were dumping all their stuff that afternoon.
Right.
So as long as it doesn't stay confirmed, people are still going to be buying stuff, going through. But if you look at Lego Dimensions' latest tweet, every mention back is all about this story. So
sure.
You would think they just want to eventually get on top of this.
Yeah, because it's going to spiral out of control quickly if they don't do something.
But yeah, so Dan from brickslife.com, Dan also did Disney Infinity Codes, if you haven't made that connection yet. But yeah, he put up an article this week. His server's still getting hit hard with it, but you can check out there's a Google cached version of it, which we can link to in the show notes as well.
Sure.
Just in case it's still not, server still hasn't recovered yet. But yeah, so an article called "The Quiet Cancellation of Lego Dimensions." He goes into it, not discrediting his article by any means. There's no huge smoking gun in it. He even admittedly says out that the game's not officially canceled yet. I mean, again, miracles could happen. I think it was actually his term. Yeah, miracles can do happen. But it's officially on the back burner. He did talk about a little bit. Again, I talked about this thing, and I can say this. I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying this. This is somebody who he's contacted. This isn't some anonymous source sending him stuff. Like, he knows who this person is.
This is not a Twitter egg.
Right.
Yeah.
Unverified thing. And again, why people still get upset about this, I don't understand. But they're like, why can't you name the source? Let's think logically here. This person is probably still under contract.
Sure.
With Lego Dimensions, whether they're in the company or a third party, they're in from one of the licenses, somewhere involved. Probably not allowed to be talking about what they're talking about. So again, it's one of those things. Dan, stuff that he's validating his source. He's going, checking things through. So whether you want to believe him or not, that's up to you. But this isn't I can vouch for that, saying that it's not some anonymous email he got from some throwaway 10minutemail.com email address. So it's validated source through. He has some documents that he's not allowed to share yet, but he has stuff that he's been validating through as well. He's just trying to make sure he doesn't get his pantsuit off.
Yeah.
But anyways, he did talk about they had a meeting, and before Late Dimensions was their top IP. If you remember, I mean, Jurassic World, after that, it seemed like we were just going to get, rehashes or HD collect. I mean, for a while there, which even still, I guess Lego Worlds, that's kind of a different thing. But I guess between Jurassic Park and now, have we got another original Lego IP? We've got Harry Potter collection.
Yeah. When did the
Avengers
Avengers game, was that before or after Jurassic Park?
That was after, I think, and I think that was still like beginning, like it was still in development for this. But
yeah.
Anyways, after that, it's not like we're getting hit hard with all these Lego original IP game kind of stuff. Anyways, now Lego Dimensions, as he put it on, is more of a footnote. So they seem to be shifting resources over. This makes sense too if we think about the last wave and stuff, and just how the issues has been with launching stuff. It just doesn't seem like it's all there. So if people are leaving from working from that, you said about just causing confusion, stuff like that inside development, because development's been to a crawl. Also talked about that they're milking this out, which makes sense why we originally got March, and then all of a sudden now the left field May coming for the next wave.
Right.
Because again, same thing. A, communication's down a point. B, they're trying to push this stuff out. I mean, there's different hinds behind that, but it's not I don't view it as simply as just say, oh, we actually met in May. There's a couple of things that they said about the spring. So
right.
There seems to be a little bit of chaos going in Late Dimension side of it. But the one paragraph that I found pretty interesting as well, he says, now in 2017, when production should be ramping up in full swing for the final year 3 of LEGO Dimensions, there is no new development. The lack of development isn't the result of a lack of effort on the part of TT Game. Franchises that they've been working with to bring at least some year 3 content have mostly dropped out. That part's interesting to me.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, because it's different. That's different than LEGO Dimensions looking at it and be like, you know what? We could spend the money, research different. This is the IP people being like, hey, like this is how I'm interpreting it. If I'm one of those people, like, hey, our IP is worth more than it being at a 99-cent store.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I could see them being like, hey, this is not selling what we thought it was going to be selling. I don't know how much of the money they're getting, if it's like per sale, if it's a contracted, like we'll pay you flat. Who knows what that is? Irrelevant. But I think it's just that other licenses could be seeing it and like, this is not selling what we thought it was going to be. It's not getting the attention we want. It's not either getting the marketing we want. Anything like that.
Right.
So,
and if those licenses pull out,
that's the game.
Yeah, and that makes it tough, because if you want to add new content, you want that new content to interact with what's already there and established. So how do you do that and add new stuff if those licenses aren't there anymore? Like, say for example, it's Ghostbusters, right? And you want the Ghostbuster characters to interact with this new content for the next year, but now you don't have Ghostbusters anymore. So then what do? Do those characters just never talk and interact at all? You can't make any cutscenes. You can't do anything with them. Like that would really suck.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. Again, the game's not officially canceled yet. Who knows if they'll say anything? Because again, as soon as they say stuff, people will be canceled. I didn't hear too much responses today. I heard some people saying this last time, saying, "Don't believe any of this. The developers promises a 3-year plan." Okay, that's irrelevant to this conversation.
Sure.
Disney Infinity said they were getting 4 play sets, and we didn't get those. I mean, there's a difference between we're playing a 3-year plan and we guarantee you there's going to be 3 years worth of content. They can guarantee it, and that was still the plan. But then the financials close, and people in finance say, "Hey, we gotta close this up." That's not them breaking their promise.
Also, that's also business. Like, who cares if they break a promise? If they promises and guarantees are not legal binding contracts.
Right.
They don't owe anybody anything when it comes to fulfilling their word. Like, will it look bad for them? Will they, maybe put some people out? Yeah, sure. But that's business. Like,
Right.
Like they are not contractually obligated to fulfill their promises by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
And people are ridiculous for thinking that they're owed something by these big companies.
And I got one comment of this today, which I remember this. I forgot how much this comment made me mad back in the Disney Infinity days. Somebody was like, "Oh, well, there goes all that money I wasted on this." What? What? I don't understand that comment at all. Like,
sure, we're not investing in stocks here.
Yeah, we're expecting this to go on for 30 years, and this is gonna be like the last video game you ever bought. Like, I don't understand that comment at all.
Also, did you enjoy it while you had it?
Right.
If so, then you didn't waste your money. Like,
yeah.
If you bought all the stuff, but you weren't planning on ever using it until like 10 years from now when you have this giant collection and then you could finally dig into it, then yeah, maybe you wasted your money. But if you bought anything and opened it and played with it and enjoyed it, then you can't say you wasted your money.
Sure. But it's super weird. But anyways, I mean, if it does get canceled there, we can talk more about, our opinions on there. I still 100% think Sticker Shock just killed them. Lego trying to move their price model into a video game accessory market just didn't go well with them. I mean, people just look at the thing, I can get this for this dollar, or this for this dollar. Doesn't really match up. I mean, they lowered the fun packs down to the price that was arguably the price it should be. I mean, I don't think there's too many people arguing the fun packs are still too high. Or still some would say, but it's much better than what they originally were.
Right. Could you imagine what we would be saying right now if they had just come out with these price points to begin with?
Yeah. I mean, like there's people even arguing about the level packs. They don't get the content. I mean, again, the price is all in the Lego pieces, which is at the end of the day a fantastic thing about it. Because as Steven mentions on this, at the end of the day, if this game's canceled, you have hundreds and thousands of Lego pieces you can now use for your Lego collection.
Yeah.
They're not just figures that you can't do anything with.
But you always have to look at it as Lego Dimensions was something that people got into that had never necessarily bought any Lego. Like, I'd never bought a Lego set before in my life. I'd never put together Legos. Like, so I wasn't used to the Lego prices. And I think a lot of people weren't used to the Lego prices that bought Lego Dimensions. So it seemed high and it seemed expensive and kind of off-putting. But for people like you, you're just like, that's, a per brick price. That's pretty standard in the world of Lego.
Right.
But this game wasn't catering to just Lego fans. This game was meant to bring gamers into Lego. And it was a tough sell.
And yeah, so it's I think the pricing on that was a fail. I still, to this day, don't understand why they didn't put the stuff in the Lego aisle. Still to this day, do not understand.
Yeah.
We
were so sure that was going to happen.
It's like must be something to do with licensing. There must be someone in some licensing department that didn't want it there for whatever reason. Because I remember someone tweeting a picture of some store who did it, like took it upon themselves to do it. Because they're like, hey, this is a great idea for add-on sales.
Yeah.
And I remember like a Lego PR tweeting at that person like, hey, can you tell us what store this is so we can get in contact with them? Oh. Like, what? Like, why? Why? I mean, again, maybe we'll find out. I'm sure some stupid legal head person didn't want, some IP near their, official Lego sets, but it's just stupid.
Sure.
So we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be a shame. They did a lot of things right. I mean, again, we'll get to a discussion for if and when it ever happens. But
even James Holian on Twitter today, he was saying that like you also have to look at the countless bugs that they've had in year 2 of Lego Dimensions and game crashes and save files being just completely, deleted and corrupted, and like they broke this game when they started adding content to it.
Right.
And that soured people. Like even James said on Twitter, like that kept him from playing it for several months because he just didn't want to deal with it anymore. He was sick and tired of a broken game, and you can't be mad at that. That's not the consumer's fault. Like, we were all in waiting for this stuff, and then every time we tried to use it, it was, either recalls or, weird downloads and corrupted save files and bugs and game crashes and just one thing after another. And eventually you're just like, in this day and age, we as humans have attention spans the size of an ant. And if something can't grab us and hold on to us, we're going to move on to something else, no matter how much we liked that thing before. And,
Right.
it just kept happening over and over. Every time a new wave, people were just bracing for like, oh, great, what's going to happen now? Each time they put out an update for the game, it's like, is this actually going to make it better, or is it going to break it in a different new way?
Yeah.
That doesn't work in video games at all.
Right.
And they've never had those problems with Lego games before.
That's the thing that always blew my mind, is Lego's been one of the most solid all-around games. And then, first year, there was a couple of issues, but nothing major. But yeah, ever since the launch of Season 2, man, it's just been issues. And it was those updates, the whole download manager stuff, I think, confused. For the game that has no compatibility problems as far as this and that still confuses people.
Mm-hmm.
I got so many messages like, how do I play this? Why isn't this working? That was awfully, whoever architected that idea needs to be reshuffled.
Yeah.
In the company. But that was the same thing. Like when I got the packs, I got so excited, and I remember I couldn't put them together. I had to find some crappy YouTube video to try and find the directions, and I didn't feel like dealing with all the download queues, and it would take me a while to get up the effort to even go through all that process. Although it's simple, again, like you said, our trained to our grain of attention span right now is not very long.
Right.
And I was like, this is 2 hour work done. I just want to put it in and go.
Yep. Absolutely. So, again, nothing official. Are we any closer to having an official statement about this? Probably not. But the longer this goes on, the harder it's going to be for them to put out any fires. And I think the longer they go in silence about it, the worse it's going to be overall. Because it's just going to start being totally obvious. And like I said before, the writing is on the wall. This is just, another sentence added to it. You kind of have to look at the big overall picture here as to what's going on, delayed waves, all the problems with the game itself, the lack of them talking about anything going forward.
The deleted level packs,
them showing up in 99-cent stores. There's just so many different things that individually don't mean much, but you add them all up and you have those in one hand, and then you look at your other hand that's supposed to be filled with positives, and nothing's really there. You start to kind of put the pieces together.
Right.
So we'll see. None of us want it to happen, but we have to be realistic about it. We have to bring you guys the information that we have. Are we sad? Are we bummed out? Yes. I think a lot of people are and will be if it ever becomes official. But this is the last thing that we want to see. But there's life moves on.
Well, E3 first day of E3 show floor is 3 months from yesterday, so we'll know by then.
You would think so. You would think so.
If they don't say anything about Season 3 then, darn well it's not coming.
Yeah. If they put out some statement about them not being at E3, that's it. That's done.
See ya.
Yeah.
Season 2 trailer is still one of the best video game trailers of all time. So good.
So good. We have some little tidbits here to go over. The tidbits part of the podcast, which, you know what? There are tidbits now, but the way things are going, these are eventually going to just, morph into, full-fledged topics on our show. And, you know what? I'm okay with that. We will evolve as the genre does. But this part of the podcast is sponsored by our good friend Christopher Long over at Long's Toys. You could find him on Twitter at CLong83. And he has a podcast. You should go check it out. It's called Geek Each Week. Him and his buddy Brian talk about all kinds of fun geek stuff. You can find it on iTunes and everywhere else. And you could find the show on Twitter at Geek Each Week. So go over there, check it out. Tell Christopher that we sent you, and I think you'll get a free refill of popcorn if you drop our name. So that's pretty cool. That's the kind of guy Christopher is over there at Geek Each Week. SwapBots. Now, I did an interview with one of the people behind SwapBots. That will be episode 110. Is it up yet in your feed? Nope, it's not. Some things happened. I wasn't able to get it up on the internet. Was going to be a full show to circle around that, and one thing led to another, and it just didn't work out. Regardless, I still have the interview. It's a great interview. It's like an hour and a half long. So that is going to be episode 10. If you are listening to this episode right now, it's probably in your feed as well. So go check that out. You'll learn all about SwapBots and what they got going. Their Kickstarter has officially launched. As of now, they probably have 24, 25 days left. Because I think when I interviewed them, it was about 34 or 35 days. So there's still plenty of time. Go over to Kickstarter, check out SwapBots, see if it's something that you're interested in. Low price of entry for something that's really cool. Definitely kind of changing the way people look at Toys to Life. So I hope you guys enjoyed the interview that I did with them, and it's something that you want to support, or at least check it out, at the very, very least. Also, our friends over at Light Seekers, they are preparing for something huge. Huge.
Huge.
They are getting ready to start shipping out the playing/trading cards.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
So good. So good. Now, we talked about this on Limited Edition. Like, it's kind of surreal that things are just moving so smoothly for them. You get those Kickstarter backer update emails every time something happens, and each time I hold my breath wondering what possibly went wrong or what's going to be delayed, and nothing. Like, I didn't expect these until the game launched, and here they're just like, you know what? Let's start shipping out the cards. Let's get those out there. Which I fully appreciate. Obviously you're not going to find them in stores until everything officially launches in June?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
July. So that's when I would expect the cards and everything to be there. But, for Kickstarter backers that got cards, you're going to start seeing those really soon. And we will definitely have coverage of that when we get ours in. So good for Light Seekers. They're just chugging right along.
July 1st.
July 1st, okay.
Have
I knew
it
it was
in my
like
calendar.
smack dab in the middle of summer, so. I don't know if that's actually smack dab in the middle of summer, but it sounds like it.
4th of July weekend, technically, so that's exciting.
Yeah, it's usually like the kickoff of summer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it depends where you're at. So yeah, good job for those guys. And then I will say this. Now, we have Light Seekers. We have our friends Beast of Balance. They're down at South by Southwest this weekend. They're doing their thing. Still kicking butt. SwapBots, their Kickstarter is going well so far. And we're hopeful for them. I'm in contact with another company, Jason.
Ooh.
Who is looking to start a Kickstarter or launch their Kickstarter very soon. They are looking to launch their game this fall. I have received a beta code for them to try out the game, and they are sending me the figures in the mail. They have them shipped, and I should be receiving them at the latest by Monday.
Ooh.
To check out like the first run of the figures for this game. Now, I don't want to talk about the game yet. I want to give it some time. I want to check it out. But they're close to launching their Kickstarter. But I mean, they have figures to send out to people. So, no, it's not Infinite Arms. I know everybody is sitting there wondering if that's what it is. No, I'm sorry, it's not. You guys would have been. We would have started off the podcast talking about that.
They're back.
Does it feel like they're just gonna pop up on Amazon one day?
I hope so.
Just randomly. Just they came in like a flash in the pan, and that's just how they're gonna like actually launch too. Just out of nowhere.
July 1st, they're gonna launch also. Just like, hey, by the way,
June 30th.
Yeah, pull the prices right down.
No, so I'm going to check out this new game, see what it's all about. If it's something that I feel like you guys are going to be interested in, we will definitely talk about that. And then when their Kickstarter launches, we'll see if we can get somebody from the studio on the show to talk about that, and it's kind of what we do here. So just keep that in the back of your heads, folks, that something else is in the pipeline already. It's time, Jason. It's time for the community question. It's been a long time since he participated in one of these. This week, for the response of the week, we're going to give away a $5 Amazon gift card to use on whatever you want to use it for. Maybe it's some paraphernalia for your Switch. Maybe it's a Nintendo eShop gift card. Whatever. Do whatever you want with it. I don't even care. The community question this week is sponsored by our good friend, Evan Parker, a.k.a. The Lone Goldfish. You can find him over on Twitch, twitch.tv/The Lone Goldfish. He sent me a nice little care package out of the blue. It had a shirt for my Harry Potter podcast, which is award-winning. I don't know if you know that or not. Tales from Godric's Hollow. And he sent me a shirt that he made specifically for some crazy things I've been talking about on that show. But he also included some very disturbing stickers of animals that are made out of watermelons and strawberries. It's a lot to handle, Jason. It's a lot.
It's a lot happening.
Yeah, like, you think Shopkins are bad because it's just like fruit with googly eyes and arms and legs? Like, no, we're talking about like actual animals that are replaced by their animal parts by slices of fruit. Very strange. I don't know where he gets this kind of stuff from. But there's also a lanyard to go along with it.
Of course there is.
Too much. Also, he sent me a little blind box. I don't know if you've seen these in stores, of the Super Mario pin sets.
Oh, nice.
And like they come in a little box, little flat box, and a blind bag inside, and each box has one pin. I think there's 8 to collect. Mario, Luigi, Toad, Princess, Bowser, etc., etc. But one of the 8 is a special gold Super Mario pin.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm looking at these. I'm like, okay, all these are pretty cool. And then, so I open up the box. I rip open the package, completely still sealed. You can't feel the package at all because it's inside this cardboard box. Open it up. What is it? Gold Mario.
Oh, yeah.
So, Lady Luck shines down upon me, Jason. So thank you, Evan Parker, for that. It's definitely going to go to my pin collection. So, community question this week was inspired by LEGO Dimensions, of course. The question was, what property from LEGO Dimensions would you want to break out and become a full-fledged LEGO game, and why? A lot of good responses, Jason. Let's go through them, shall we?
Let's do it. So we got, first up, James Holey in Infinity Museum says, Doctor Who, start with William Hartnell and make a mission for each of the 13 incarnations. I know Sharpie Sharps would love it. Of course, Stephen Sharples from TT Games also tweeting Alonzi. It's Infinity Museum's tweet. Pirate Steven says Goonies because the Goonies are good enough. And then,
R as in just the letter R.
Yeah.
Shopkins.
Skip them.
Yeah.
Long's Toys says that was a close one.
Oh boy. We've got to start this podcast over.
God, Long's Toys says Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Simpsons all have enough movie or TV content to warrant full game Simpsons more than one. Mighty Lauren says Doctor Who would be fantastic. So many decades of material to work with. DMU Girl 2008 says have to agree. Doctor Who Lego game would be amazing. Han Solo or Paul J. Han says I know they haven't been released, but Teen Titans Go. The series is hilarious, and I would love to see what they can do with it. Matthew Johnson says Back to the Future. They should also add LEGO Dimensions Toy Pad support to LEGO Worlds, so you can scan characters to unlock items. Alan Wilkinson says Red Dwarf, partly so it can double back and become a proper set. you don't know, Red Dwarf was in the Fantastic Beasts as a hidden level. So Red Dwarf is somewhat a representative game, kind of like the Jetsons was in season 1. Will Sonicer Billy B3077 says, definitely the Lego Batman movie. There could have been so many more jokes, and the amount of Batmans to play as is endless. Yeah, it is odd that, I guess they want to put it on that, but that would be a great Lego game. Justin Wilson, Star Wars pop fan, says, I'd like a Back to the Future game that spans all 3 movies. They could do at least 6 to 10 levels for each movie and an open world. Jeff Grimes, 23, says, Back to the Future. The level pack was too short and left me wanting more. Helix Fossil says, Portal for sure. Richard underscore S123. Though I fell off the Lego Dimensions wagon a few waves ago, I'd love a Lego City 2 eventually. The first game is pure magic. If you haven't gotten Lego City yet, remember it's coming out in the remastered version soon. I'm excited to check that out.
Yeah.
Excited for some Couch.
Wow.
Co-op.
4th time's the charm there.
Got in there.
What was the release date on that, by the way?
I don't remember anymore. April 17th?
Okay. Soon.
Soonish. Yeah, next month. TJ says, not custom amiibo TJ, but our other friend TJ, says that would be awesome Lego Power Rangers from each series, like Mighty Morphin, the Down of Thunder, Ninja Storm, SPDs, Mystic Force, and so much more. That would be an awesome Lego game, in my opinion. See about the Power Rangers things on Twitch?
The Green Ranger shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't read into it. So what actually happened?
So they were waiting for the Green Ranger episodes, which is like some of the best Power Ranger episodes of all time.
Yes.
It's like a 5-part miniseries.
Right.
And when it came on, I think it was like right before, I can't remember, the stream went down for like 2 minutes. And so people were making jokes about it. Apparently it was a transcoding issue where it's transcoding in 720p versus 1080p, and for some reason that wasn't like streaming or something. That was Twitch response on it, but it happened twice.
Okay.
But for some reason it was transcoding in the wrong quality, and then like the program wouldn't pick it up because it wasn't the right quality or whatever. But it's just so funny.
And for people that don't know, Twitch is holding a Power Rangers marathon where you could go on Twitch and watch the entire series of Power Rangers in preparation for the new movie. Yeah, great idea. Green Ranger though, Tommy's shutting it down.
And like I watched a little bit today, I'm like, man, I watched like just how awesome and awful was at the same time, because there's no like special effects. There's just dudes in big suits walking around the park, like so it looks like such like a bad like high school YouTube project.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so good. Doodles and Toys says, Sonic, how neat would it be to have a Lego game that recreates a bunch of Sonic games? Aaron H. Cyberfox says, I think there's a lot of creativity and potential with over 50 years of content for a full Lego Doctor Who game. Sam Spencer, Amiibo Nerd 1, says, Adventure Time because the fun never ends. Joe Euler, Snowguard 77, I feel Scooby-Doo had great chances for a breakout and a lot of expansion. Celebrity star guests on cases and everything. Guadalupe says, Sonic, you know why? Wink face.
No, I don't.
because he's probably referencing the fact that Lego Sonic was the best Sonic game. So
that's true. That's true.
I'm assuming that's how I'm reading into it.
Sure.
Sean Dilly says Doctor Who time travel, evil gargoyles, sword fights with spoons, dinosaurs and spaceships. What more do you need?
Hold on, stop right there. Stop.
Yes.
What if the unannounced Sonic game actually is Lego Sonic?
That would be funny.
Wouldn't it? Is that out of the realm of possibility if you actually think about it?
Probably not.
Huh. Okay, continue.
And finally, William Thorndike, Red Eyes 070, says, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters.
A lot of good responses, Jason.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite, though?
I do.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's give somebody a prize.
Now, I typically try to choose a reason for here. We try not just to do the one that we like the most or the one that makes us laugh, like, some extra reasoning in this one.
Sure.
And there was, when I read this question, there was one I went to right off the bat. But then somebody took the idea and went upon it, which I think makes it much better of an idea. That's Joe Euler, Snowguard 77, who said Scooby-Doo. I think a Scooby-Doo game would be a great addition to the Lego line. I mean, again, if it's just mystery solving thing, that's a whole entire new genre.
Right.
So just beat 'em up kind of stuff for Lego Dimensions or for Lego games. It could, it could just be a mystery game. I mean, that's kind of a big thing right now
Sure.
too in the genre. There's a lot of hints and stuff like that. But then the celebrity guest stars, like could be huge. Like they could have DLC all the time, and it could be cross marketing with other stuff too. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Mini Lego Dimensions stuff like that. I mean, that's a brilliant idea to get other franchises involved, other guest stars for stuff. I mean, Wonder Woman movies coming out, drop Gal Gadot in it for some reason.
Sure.
Anything like that.
John
That'd be
Cena?
super awesome. Yeah, absolutely. So there's multiple ways they could do fun stuff like that. And again, I think that's an easy way to add content to a game.
Yeah.
Just keep making levels like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do it even episode style, like Traveler Tales games.
Oh, God. Yes.
They could do something like that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's looking at it like, sure, you think of a Lego game and it has to be all one just giant game all at once, but yeah, you put it out, not Traveler's Tale, Telltale Games.
Oh, my bad. Did I say Traveler Tales?
Yeah. You're thinking of the people that actually make Lego games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do it the style of Telltale Games, which would be really confusing if they start making the games like the other TT games. But yeah, I mean, like an episode every month or so until it's like this one full like piece of content, like that'd be really cool, especially with something like Scooby Doo. Be like having a weekly TV show.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Joe.
When's the did we get a date for that yet? For the Marvel thing for Telltale?
Guardians?
Yeah.
I don't think there was a date, no.
I think it was spring.
Probably.
Telltale, which I love and hate. They give you like 2 days notice, like it's coming out like Thursday. Like, oh,
it's
crap.
always sooner than you're ever going to think it is.
And it's always like, I need a plan for this Telltale.
You like wait like 2 months for a new episode, and it's like, when is it happening? Oh yeah, by the way, it's happening tomorrow. Ah! Okay. Joe, get a hold of me. You know the drill. I'll get you that $5 Amazon gift card. Jason, you skipped over one response.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me.
No problem.
Shopkins Inc. says the Midway Gamerkin. Where'd he come from? What's his name? Why is he obsessed with a Defender? We need answers, which is true. Mm-hmm. Which could be solved in the Scooby-Doo game.
Ooh, yeah. The squad could be on the case figuring that out.
Right.
Gamer Kid is lost in like a Tron style type of situation, and they have to go rescue him.
Wasn't for those meddling kids.
So much potential. Alrighty, Jason. Before we head out for the night, we got a couple emails that I'd like to go over with you.
Let's do it.
The first email, and if you guys have any emails for us at any time during the week, not just specifically when we ask for them, you can send them over to podcast@toysforgames.com. First email is from Guadalupe. It says, first off, congratulations, Jason. I hope the best for you and Amy, and I still have dibs on your wedding cake. Second, man, today has not been happy in terms of Toys to Life news. Now with Lego Dimensions on the chopping block, I worry what will happen to the podcast. Then again, there are small companies popping up to take the space left by the big guys, and we still have Amiibo. Who would have guessed that Amiibo would be the last one to survive? I know Matt didn't. So, my question is, what is your gut feeling as to what will happen to Amiibo in the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's back and forth. I mean, they probably have to start walking a fine line too, because what they've been doing has been working for them per se. Mm-hmm. As of right now, it's not a. I mean, there's not too many stuff out there now where people are like, I need to go get these today. But like, oh, a game's coming out. It'd be great if Amiibo are coming out for it. Oh, cool, they are. I'll pick them up at some point, or I might pick up one. So it's kind of like a nice little add-on. I don't know how much money they're making off of it, how much they're really selling anymore. It seems like a lot of people are buying them just because, like, oh, cool, I've always wanted a Legend of Zelda Amiibo, or great, it's Fire Emblem, I love this character, let me buy a figurine of that character. So we'll see. But if they start, overstepping their things, like, hey, here's this crazy game you can do with it now.
Sure.
Then people are like, okay, I'm out.
Right.
But like, I don't think there's too many people who are collecting them all anymore. There still are,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely is, but I don't think there's as anymore.
Right.
I think it is now just like, hey, I love that character, let me go get it.
There's two key points that I think Nintendo has to continuously keep hitting for Amiibo to work long term. One, they can never, ever, ever do another set like the Smash Brothers series.
Right.
Right? You limit each game to having a set of like 2, 3, maybe 4 for your bigger games. You know, like Breath of the Wild set, like that's probably the max you should ever do for a game.
Sure.
And you limit those to just like your biggest games that Nintendo is putting out by themselves. So, you know, if you want to have a couple ARMS figures, sure, go for it. Definitely Mario Odyssey is going to have a couple. But,
Right.
you know, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 for like Zelda and Mario. But that's it. No big sets, just a few that will add added content to the games you're putting out. That is the sweet spot for them. Secondly, they need to open it up just a little bit more so other companies like Yacht Club Games and Shovel Knight can do similar things. SteamWorld Dig, if we don't see an amiibo with SteamWorld Dig 2, that's a missed opportunity. You know, they need to let other smaller companies dabble in the amiibo game, even if it's just one amiibo, like this one Shovel Knight amiibo. Do I want an entire line of Shovel Knight amiibo? Of course I do. But realistically, nobody's going to buy all of them except the hardcore collectors. You put one Shovel Knight amiibo out there, that's perfect. You know, let these little indie games put one out to coincide with their games. That will go a long way. So, I think those are the two keys of success for Amiibo to stick around for many years to come.
Yeah, I think when I was thinking about your 4 idea is actually a good idea, because I could see some games where people are like, okay, I like these 2, so they buy the 2, and then like, you know what, already halfway there, let's get the remaining 2. I can speak from that from not me specifically personal experience, but one of my friends who does not have, I don't think he had any amiibo, but was super into Zelda, really wanted one of the amiibo, so he bought that. Then he's like, well, I'll buy the second one. And then he said, even that's told me, he's like 2 days later, he sent me a picture. He's like, I just bought the rest. I'm like, I was already halfway there.
Right.
And then buying Archer twice because his daughter accidentally, she's like 2 years old, put it next to a lamp and it melted.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I had to get another one of that one.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. Again, the Animal Crossing one, there's so many people are just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, but if there was like 2 or 3 Animal Crossing, people I would think would probably be like, oh, this is nice. I might buy 1 or 2,
right,
to complete the collection of it. So the limited one probably gets more people to buy than versus dumping them all out.
Yeah, and it's easier for people to swallow buying 2 or 3. You know, and again, the functionality is gonna, if they continue to nail functionality with these things, then people are going to be more apt to buy them, because then you're not just going to get the collectors who like to see them on the shelves, but you're going to get the people that are actively looking to enhance the games that they're playing. And that will be key. So, you know, they listen to this podcast or they read on a website somewhere that like, hey, if you buy this Zelda amiibo, it's going to give you some cool things in the new Breath of the Wild game that you've already sunk 80 hours into. They're just like, you know what? I'm just going to go buy an amiibo. This is going to be a fun addition to this game that I'm playing and I'm loving. But, you know, those people aren't going and buying the amiibo right now just to put them on their shelves. So, functionality is going to go a long way. So, thank you, Guadalupe. Last email here is from our buddy Jeff Grimes. Hey, Josh and Jason. Jason.
Hey, Jeff Grimes.
Congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you, sir.
Will you be getting married in Disney World?
We will not be.
Confirmed.
We will, however, the plan is still, Brett already knows this, planning on finally visiting a Lonnie Resort for our honeymoon. Hanging out with Brett.
Oh,
So,
you lucky dog.
yeah, so excited for that.
Okay, now I'm really mad at you.
Early processing and talk with Brett. And I already had one phone call and talking about budgeting and trips and everything like that.
Sure.
So excited with that. It was funny because he takes his quarterly trip.
Uh-huh.
He says, Outlook, that's typically the week he goes, the week that we're looking at going. And the trip he was going, And he's like, that'd be pretty funny. I'm like, that'd be awesome. Like, walking like, hey, Brett.
Maybe just slip me those dates, Jason, and we could just make this a family affair.
I'd be down for that. don't even tell Amy. Just
no,
like,
you're just running into all these people that you know. Just
eat lunch and like look over like, hey, look, Josh is over there, and it's like, what?
Just like it's normal, just every day.
Josh, Brett held this from us, and I found out because one of my friends actually went to the resort recently on a trip. Jurassic Park and Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Filmed on that island. You can go
that island.
Yes, that island that Lonnie's is on.
I knew it was filmed in Hawaii. I did not know it was that specific island.
That specific island. It's on the other side. You just take it's like a 40-minute car ride.
Brett, if you're listening to this right now, I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm a little hurt. You know how big of a fan I am of the Jurassic Park series. Maybe he's just trying to keep the island to himself. Maybe he's being a little greedy here and trying to keep us city folk away.
Maybe.
I don't know about that, Brett. I don't know. Jeff Grimes continues on his email and says, on toys, here are a few random observations from this past week. While at the Lego store, I noticed they had both the Knight Rider and Excalibur Batman fun packs. I guess when you make the products, store exclusives don't apply?
Well, it's funny that you actually mentioned that. I don't know if they were out at launch or not. It might have been a little bit, but the opposite is actually happening right now. The Lego physical sets, like the Penguin roller car for the actual physical Lego set for the Lego Batman movie, the Penguin car that I really like, is exclusive in store at Target, but available online at the Lego shop. But you cannot buy it in store at the Lego shop. So the in-store exclusive is with Target. Online, you can get it at Lego shop or online at Target.com. But like that's like a weird exclusive, and it's like not really even known, because it's like in the one ad. That's the only reason I even know about it. But it's like not marketing anywhere. So apparently, it's causing a lot of confusion. So the one report I read today that they're stopping that. But I think it's what it is with Lego. I don't think there's not enough Lego stores around. I don't think Target and them are losing that many sales.
Sure.
By being there, I think it just caused more confusion for Lego. I don't think anyone's throwing up a huge fit by them saying like, okay, you can have it in your stores also.
Right. Okay, interesting. He continues on. While at Kohl's, I saw all of the Disney light effects figures.
Oh.
This can only mean one thing. Kohl's is making a run at Retailer of the Year next year's Toys for Games Awards.
That'd be awesome. I do every time I'm at Kohl's. I always check, which isn't very often, but like I do check for like the chase variants for Skylanders because I just know the first time I'm gonna find one in the wild is gonna be at some random store like that.
Right. That's fascinating. I'm gonna have to do some investigating myself.
I know because I need another Luke. I have backups of all of them except for Luke.
We need to correct that wrong there.
Yes.
That's all I got, Jason. That's a show.
Good episode though.
It's been good.
Good show.
Good to be back, right?
Indeed.
Don't ever do that to me again.
Until
September of 2018. That's the next time you're allowed to take a couple weeks off.
And it was funny because we were, if you weren't doing the interview, if you were doing like, if Matt was going to be on something like that,
yeah.
I did talk to Amy. I'm like, depending on what it is, we should call in, like just sign it on Skype on my phone, just call in. It's been hilarious. But I was like, I'm not going to get in between you and the interview with Swap Bots.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, I would have been mad at me. I would have been like, Jason, stop it. I told you to get off your phone. I would have yelled at you. So, thank you. No, thank you for being back. Thank you for another great show. And again, I'm so happy for you guys. 100%. Where could the people find you at?
Yeah, you can always follow me personally on Twitter, twitter.com/Jason Inquires. Jason Inquires is also the name on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Obviously, all the Toys Life centric accounts of Brick Inquire and Skylanders as well. Two other things. One, DMU girl, I know you sent me a DM and I forgot to respond to that, which I'll do that right now. Nintendo friend codes. I don't remember what mine is, but I will tweet that out if you want to add friends on Nintendo Switch. Yep. I'm happy to be friends with anybody like that. Still addicted to Duel Links, so if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, hit me up. Revolution J1. I'll get you some nice experience from the one Vagabond. But doing pretty well. They're doing events well, Josh Brown.
Are they?
They do an event, then they take a week off, and then they do an event, and then take a week off. Like, they're constantly adding new content in there. Anytime the server's down, they give you free gems so you can buy new stuff with it.
Sure.
Different ways to get gems with it. They had one event that went really bad, like really bad.
Okay.
They always send a survey out after the event so you can give back your honest feedback. They have changed a lot of things that like people have been upset about, so they're handling the game pretty well. Right now, it's kind of confusing. There's like one half event going on, and then another event starting Thursday, and I think there's another event Sunday. So I think there's gonna be like 3 simultaneous events going on at the same time. It's gonna be chaos. But they have added a bunch of stuff in there. It's for being a free-to-play game. There's definitely some like play-to-win elements to it, but you can fully play without really spending any money on it at all.
Sure.
And it's a really fun game. So just shout out to them for doing mobile games very well, because I'm not somebody who likes these free-to-play games, but I'm having a blast with it.
Right. Good. I'm glad to hear that. You can find me on Twitter at the noise with a Y. I have already tweeted out, I think on the Toys for Games account, my friend code for the Nintendo Switch. So be sure to add me. A lot of people lined up that first night that I put it out there, so that's fun. It's nice turning it on and seeing a whole bunch of friends playing the same thing that I am, which is Zelda, of course. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Toys for Games. If you ever have an email for us with a question or comment, a complaint, compliment, whatever, send it our way. Podcast at toysforgames.com. That website, toysforgames.com, is where everything is hosted at, the main hub for everything we're doing here. If you want to join in on the discussion and hang out with some really cool folks, like our buddy Ken, who's holding it down, you could do so over at Facebook, facebook.com/groups/toysforgames. And if you'd like to support us and what we're doing here for you guys, the best community in the world, you could do so over at Patreon, patreon.com/toysforgames. With that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic week. Jason, I hope you melt eventually. It's March. You should not be covered in snow. Good luck to everybody in the March Madness bracket tournament. You will still have a few hours once this podcast goes live to join in. Go over to Jason's Twitter account where he's put all the information out. I've retweeted it. So join in on that tournament. And yes, for the second year in a row, we do have a bet going with Atari Alex. And it's going to be a doozy. So he did not bet anything regarding Shopkins this time. I think he learned his lesson. So not quite as fun, but if done well, I think it could be. So everybody have a great week. We'll see you all.
I will say, if you're in the tournament bracket,
Uh-huh.
if you're checking around, you might see a bracket named Amy's Bracket, and that is indeed Amy made a bracket, so she's in there as well. So good luck to everyone beating her. I'm feeling like she's going to beat me, and I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Yeah, which, is okay.
That's okay.
Everybody else, happy hunting, collectors.